2024 is now called to order. Roll call, please.
Oh, sorry, it's me.
Yeah.
President Hines,
Here.
Vice President Herman,
Here.
Lisette, absent, Mary Beth,
Here.
and Sophia.
Here. Please stand for the pledge.
Roll the door at 6:32.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a approval of the agenda, please? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Kim? Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks. The first order of business is adoption of emergency resolution 25-2024 in the event of a concerted refusal to work by employees. Before we go into discussion, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. Thank you. Remind me of order. Do we read the public comments? Do we have our public comments first or discussion first?
Public comments first and then discussion.
Thank you.
Point of order question, do we have a presentation from the, or a description from the staff first? Typically, we have staff, if they're not giving a physical presentation, give a verbal explanation, an introduction to the item that we're discussing before we discuss it and before we can hear public comments.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is a resolution for emergency action in the event of concerted refusal of work by employees. The Board of Education is responsible for providing students and staff with safe, secure, and peaceful learning environments, preparing all emergencies that may occur in the district, and taking action as appropriate in such response. The governing board recognizes that there is a significant likelihood that a substantial number of executive employees may strike or engage in a concerted refusal of work. These actions could interfere or impede the district's normal operations. These actions may jeopardize student welfare and safety as well as the continuity of the instructional program. So the board should take action in the event of strike, work stoppage, or interruption. The district is obligated to ensure schools remain open and available to students, maintain student safety, and continue educational activities without disruption. Education Code 35161 permits the board to delegate its powers and duties to district officers and employees. The board wishes to delegate to the superintendent or her designee the lawful powers and duties necessary to prevent a strike or to mitigate the impacts of a strike, work stoppage, or disruption should that occur. Staff recommends approval of the adoption of Resolution 25-2024.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Liava. I have 3 public comments and then a number of write-ins to also read. So we'll take 2 minutes per comment tonight. Eric Latonia, thank you. Just push the button on that mic.
Thank you for listening to me today. Went through some of you guys' documentation the last couple of days. You guys sent some information to a parent. I'm a parent both of El Granada Elementary and a parent of a student at the high school over here. And I've noticed now with utilizing this third party, it seems like there will actually be an increase of about 12% pay for these substitute teachers, which we all know that they actually are probably not going to be giving the same level of education that any of our other staff members in this district would be providing to us. So as a parent, this is concerning to me that we're willing to give a temporary workforce a 12% increase per day, yet we're not providing that same increase to our staff that's actually picking outside, which all of us know would be better for us. So somewhere in the middle seems that we'd be able to meet in the middle here, give them some health and welfare, whatever's necessary to keep our kids in a safe place to work with good education. Excuse me, to go to school with good education. Thank you.
Next speaker, Stephanie Morales.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Morales. I've lived on the coast for 61 years. I went to Eldorado School, Kenya, half of me high school. My children who are in their 30s all went through high schools. Now my grandchildren are going through. One's at Eldorado, one's at the high school. And I don't believe, honestly, the teacher salaries have increased very much from when I was here to now my grandchildren are here. It's been, I'm sure it's more, but comparatively to, I believe, administrative increases, salaries, and other expenses that have been prioritized over teacher salaries, I'm really disappointed, and it makes me want to pull my kids out and put them in Seacrest because I just don't think it's fair for these teachers. I know some of these teachers taught my adult kids, and now Miss Shu taught my grandson. So I mean, they have a lot of experience and a wealth of knowledge, and they deserve to be compensated for it fairly. Otherwise, they can't live here on the coast. They need a livable wage. So please, I just hope you can consider that. And I don't want my kids to not be able to go to school because kids are on strike. Because I won't send them to school if the teachers are striking. They can send me to jail, but I will not send my kids to school. They'll strike with me.
Thank you, Stephanie. Next speaker, Keenan Damon. Yeah.
Hey, my name's Cannon Damon. I've been a teacher here for 4 years. When I came here, I got this random retroactive pay, and I was confused as to what happened. And some people who've been here a lot longer than me were like, oh, they'll get used to it. It's bad contract negotiations. And this entire time I've been here, I've seen you guys pay board members, or not board members, I'm sorry, pay consultants to do the prior CBO's job, to pay consultants upcoming at our next meeting, and it seems like you have money for everybody but teachers.
Yeah.
I don't know where it all goes. Do you?
Yeah.
I remember finding out that there was a big hassle in fact finding, and that's a big deal if you guys can't talk about money, can't find money, and then pay consultants. I know it's on the next board member agenda, and it's another approval for a consultant. Where does that, why do you prioritize consultants and not teachers?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Thank you very much. Do I have any other public comments on this item? I have more to read. The first is from Shay Young, parent Fairlawn View. As a parent of a student at Fairlawn View, I stand firmly with our teachers. The district's handling of negotiations with CUTA has been unacceptable and shows a lack of good faith. The last best final offer, which teachers overwhelmingly rejected, fails to provide adequate compensation. Our teachers are among the lowest paid in San Mateo County, and when factoring in health care, they are the lowest compensated. This offer does not address the rising cost of living or the district's struggle to retain qualified educators. The inadequate health care benefits, particularly for newer teachers, only worsen their financial strain. By threatening to impose this offer and shut down negotiations, the district undermines trust and respect for our teachers, who deserve a fair agreement, not ultimatums. CUSD should be prioritizing its educators and students by offering a deal that values the hard work of those responsible for our children's education. I urge the board to return to negotiations and reach a resolution that demonstrates a genuine investment in our teachers and in maintaining the quality of education on the coast side. With strong concern, Shay Young. The next comment is from Doug Slezak, parent. I am writing to express my concern about the upcoming teacher strike and to urge the board to meet the teacher's final ask regarding health care and retroactive pay. It is essential that our teachers feel supported and respected, especially in these critical areas. The success of our district depends on the well-being of those who've dedicated themselves to educating our children. For too long, many of our teachers have felt unwanted, underpaid, and unheard. This frustration has reached a tipping point, and the strike reflects the deep need for change. Addressing their request for fair health care and retroactive pay will send a clear message that we value their hard work and dedication. We also need to ensure that as we move forward, we do so in a way that fosters unity and positivity. The community is ready and willing to step up financially to support our schools, but this effort must lead to stronger relationships between the district, our educators, and the families we serve. A positive outcome here will not only support our teachers, but also strengthen the bonds across the community, making it a better place for everyone, especially our children. Please consider the importance of ensuring our teachers feel valued and that we as a community can move forward together and trust a shared commitment to a bright future for our schools. Thank you for your time and consideration. And the last comment on 2A is from Glenda Mahoney. I am writing because I am so distressed and disappointed at the way our CUSDA teachers are currently being treated by the district. This labor dispute is extremely damaging to students and short-sighted on the part of the district, and the blame will end up being laid by the public on the school board and the superintendent. The teachers that our children have done an amazing job over the last few years in the worst of circumstances. This year, the CUNY teachers in particular have been so helpful and supportive with the sixth graders making the leap to middle school. The kids have just gotten settled into their new routine and are so excited about outdoor ed next week. What will happen to this program if the district pushes the teachers into a strike? Will outdoor ed get canceled in favor of sitting in the gym on the floor all day? Is that the district's vision for student education? The school district, school board, and the previous superintendent have never been able to fully account for their spending to the public, despite fact finders, the county, and other outside groups all try and figure out where the money is going. Even just 3 days of teacher striking will cost the district more than what the teachers are asking for to settle their contracts.
Exactly.
Either way, the district will not win this fight in the eyes of the public. Please don't make this worse. If you have the money for emergency subs, do you have the money to settle the contract disputes?
Yes.
So now's the time for discussion on this item.
It's the other emergency resolution.
So my understanding of this emergency resolution is that it provides the district the opportunity to put in place those plans that are necessary that keep kids safe in the event of a strike. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. I mean, we want to make sure that all students have supervision and they're safe and that education continues in the event of a strike. And just a point of clarification, President Hines. So outdoor ed will continue. I just want to give credit to our principals who are working really hard to find volunteers and teachers and staff who will be willing to come. I've even volunteered my service as a credentialed teacher to come and go to outdoor ed to make sure that our students still have that opportunity, that it's kind of a sacred rite of passage and very unified.
Thank you for that information. Are there any other, having heard these comments, are there any other items that you would like to clarify?
Not unless there's something you want me to clarify. Am I
If,
missing
if any other questions, comments? I would call the vote. Or is this, let me see, is this roll call or do we need to?
This is a resolution, so it is roll call.
Okay.
So it's the adoption of emergency resolution 25-2024 in the event of concerted refusal to work by employees. So do I have a motion?
We already had the motion and the second, so
Okay.
now it's just roll call.
All right, so then I'll do roll call. President Hines?
Aye.
Vice President Daniel?
Aye.
Trustee
Oh,
Alexander?
Class of 93.
And Trustee Lane?
Aye.
And Trustee Cortez is absent, so passes with 4-1.
Thank you.
4-0, sorry.
1 year. Class of 93.
Shame.
Class of
Shame.
93.
Shame. General business, item 2B, approval of swing education platform and services agreement.
Yeah.
Please step us through the board memo, Superintendent Leamba.
So it says Superintendent Bianca Mercer, can you please walk us through what this contract is providing for our district and what the implications are?
Good evening, Board President Hines and Board Trustees and members of the public. We entered into an agreement with swing substitutes to provide substitutes to the district. It's not just in the event of labor action, it's just that as we know that there's a real shortage of subs on the coast side in general. And so, we were looking at, and we have a partnership also with school substitutes and school education to be able to bring in substitute teachers, because we do know that when our staff is out, our students are best served when there's credentialed teachers in the classroom, and that's the purpose of this agreement.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you so much.
Okay, who seconded?
Here you go. And so, do I have any public comments on this one? I do have write-ins. Seeing no public comments, I will read the write-ins. From Risa Schiff. Dear school board and superintendent, as a community member, parent, and employee, I don't really believe that we would arrive at this moment in time where the teachers would strike. The messages have been loud and clear over time. Teachers want respect, transparent budgeting, and a cost of living increase. What's been witnessed with unanimous board voting is lack of a clear financial management for the next 2, 5, or 10 years. It appears at tonight's meeting that the board will vote to pay a company to find teachers to staff our schools at a higher rate rather than declaring to our teachers that they matter. Our students deserve to have invested teachers who are supported by our board. I'd rather we invest district finances in paying our teachers than paying lawyers, negotiation fees, or companies to staff our schools. I have not seen any district letters stating financial comparisons regarding raises. How much would it cost the district to pay 6% for the entire 23-24 school year versus 4%? Let's talk facts. Allowing a strike will ultimately cost the district more in finances, loss of community trust, and goodwill. Next comment is from Daniel Whitmore. Why are you considering paying swing education $2,500 per substitute teacher plus $500 per day instead of meeting the teacher's demands of a 6% pay increase? Should this strike last longer than 4 or 5 days, you're going to waste more money than the cost increase would be to meet the teacher's demands. Do not punish the teachers for the poor performance under the former district leadership. The community supports the teachers, and we have faith that Amber and the new leadership of the district can make us the best district possible. Meet the teachers' demands, prevent the strike. And I want to thank everybody who has written in and the comments that we have received. Superintendent Lealba, again, similar to the question I had for the first item, the purpose of both of these resolutions or actions tonight are about what I call off-nominal, it's an off-nominal situation. It's not business as usual if the teachers are on strike. And to provide adequate coverage for those students that are in school, the district is still responsible. And so it's not an apples for apples in terms of what the cost could be.
Correct, absolutely. So the cost of a contract with swing education, right, is a one-time cost versus a raise of 6%, which is what the teachers have proposed, is an ongoing cost that goes over multiple years, which under our calculations, which we submitted to the county would not approve that raise as is because we would not be able to make our multiple year projections to show the output course. But I will say that with a new CBO and a new superintendent, we are committed to being transparent. We're committed to having a robust budget development process that includes all stakeholders, including our teachers, including our classified staff, including our parents, including our community members, that helps us, advise us about what our budget should look like. So under the current agreement offer, we will be closed for 23-24, but we're open for negotiations with our teachers for 24-25, which means there's still room to negotiate additional raises for 24-25, which as a new superintendent, I'm asking you guys to give me a chance to kind of do the work that I need to do to stabilize our budget and to make some necessary adjustments and reductions, so that for 24-25, which we're in the middle of, which we'll be negotiating, that we can then offer our labor partners, both CSCA and CUTA, a raise, which they deserve. No one would deny our teachers and our classified staff are underpaid, and we want to make right and pay them. However, you all have a responsibility by law to maintain fiscal solvency for our district. I have a responsibility as your one public employee to make sure that our district is financially solvent. So I'm asking for your grace and for your latitude to let me have, I've been here 3 months, you guys, 3 months. Give me a chance to work with our labor partners and to make some reductions and to reduce our budget. And I've heard tonight some comments about contractors. We need to look at every aspect of our budget, every line item, and I welcome all of our people to help us dive in. We have shared our budget development document with our negotiation partners. They have the same document that we have. They can plug in the same numbers that we have to come up with where are we at. I want a very transparent and a very open and a very robust process, and I welcome the feedback. I've given my phone number out to everyone, and I've gotten some calls from some parents with some ideas. Let's work collaboratively to figure out how to stabilize our budget so we can properly compensate all of our employees. I'm just asking for some time and some grace, and I think that we can get there.
Is it accurate to say that the 6% retroactive to the, as opposed to, that went back to January?
Oh, nothing retroactive. So I'm not Jennifer.
I just wanted to
Okay, so I want
understand.
to stay on topic
But
of
I
our
wanna-
swing agreement,
right,
which is what our
okay.
agenda item is. So we need subs
Yeah.
in the event that we do have an abundance of absences.
Right.
To make sure that our students are safe and that education continues. Because our
Okay.
parents, our working mom, we need a place to send our kids to school. And our schools are committed to remaining open and educating our students. And that is what this resolution and what this contract is going to enable us.
Okay. And we can talk about it in our budget segment on Thursday.
Yes,
So,
and we do have a
thanks.
board meeting on Thursday,
Yeah.
which I invite everyone to come out and participate and give me your public comments.
Okay. Any other questions, comments on this?
So I have a question, it's probably for Bianca. Excuse me. I read in the contract that it says, if you wish to hire or contract directly with a swing sub, you agree to pay swing education a $2,500 finder's fee. Though I also, heard the comment from that came right earlier about why you're considering paying swing education $2,500 per substitute teacher plus $500 per day instead of meeting the teacher's demands of a 6% pay increase. Can you clarify? Or either of you clarify
Yes,
that?
Bianca, can you clarify? Because it's not $2,500 per.
Please don't share. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, trustee Ling. Just to be clear, it is not $2,500 plus $500 for a substitute. Per substitute. So as you know, there's a teacher shortage in the state of California. So staffing agencies such as swing substitutes, scoop substitutes, under Superintendent Lee Alva's direction, I have been working to secure a variety of different contracts with a variety of different service providers to really help us with our recruitment and retention efforts to make sure that we don't have vacancies. So if staff depart from the district, that we are able to bring in credentialed teachers. And so to that end, part of these contracts is that if we had, for example, a vacancy at a school and we had a credentialed substitute teacher who performed well, and the principal of the site wanted to offer and extend a contract to that individual, and Superintendent Lee Alva approved said agreement, then what would happen is that we, as a district, would provide a finder's fee of $2,500 to Swing Education to be able to contract with that teacher as a pro or a temporary teacher for the district for the long haul. So I want to separate that from the substitute portion of the contract. Is my
Okay, so then just to make sure I understand, so if somebody were brought on Thursday to be a substitute teacher for a short-term period, then what would you, like, you would just be paying $500 a day, you wouldn't be paying $2,500, unless, like, at some point that you decided to bring them on to, like, fill up openings?
Well, I want to remind everybody here this evening that the board voted the resolution, and the ayes have it, and Superintendent Lee Alva will determine what the actual cost is for the substitute, up to $500.
Okay.
So that's what it says. So the board has given superintendent directive that we can pay up to $500 if we have to pay that.
So, and then the 2,500 is only if you choose to hire them permanently,
That's
for
right.
example, or like, just basically off their books and onto ours, like,
Right.
no longer.
Yeah.
It's not like a day by day, so like
Yeah.
we contract
Or
with
even
them
just
for
to start.
3 days, we're not
Yeah.
paying them that per day.
Yeah, or even to start.
Correct.
Yeah, because I think that's the little bit of confusion I've heard out there. It's like, to bring them on, you pay 2,500 and then 500 a day. It's not that. It's you pay them 500 a day, and if you decide to hire them for another position, up to, then it would be like the transition to like for example, a full-time position.
Yes, and the $500 a day was recommended to us from an AXA consultant at no cost to the district. No cost to the district, who recommended that fee, given that we're on the coastline, it's over the hill, and it's an emergency situation, right? So we want to make sure ultimately our students are safe and that learning is disrupted as little as possible. Any other questions? Comments? So this is not a resolution, is this roll call or?
No, this is just a board vote, so it's an agreement.
Call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. This brings us to closed session, and I do have public comments for item 3B for closed session. Barbara Capers, a parent and community member. Please pay the teachers the percentage they requested. They deserve it along with the COLA. We need to strive to retain quality teachers in this district and give our students a better chance to thrive. Do the right thing tonight and say yes to their requests. And then Brooke Babineau, please pay our teachers. I know everyone at the table values the education of our kids. I've been so excited for my TKers to enter the CUSD after the many great things I've heard about our educators and the community that supports them. Please keep them in the classrooms this year and beyond. And then Camilla Lombard, I am writing to express my deep support of our teachers as a parent of students at Hatch and Cunha. I am discouraged and dismayed by the district's handling of negotiations with CUTA and apparent lack of good faith. Why should our teachers be among the lowest paid in San Mateo County when factoring in healthcare, they are the lowest compensated? CUSD should be prioritizing its educators and students by offering a deal that values the hard work of those responsible for our children's education. I urge the board to return to negotiations and reach a resolution that demonstrates a genuine investment in our teachers and in maintaining the quality of education on the coast side. Sincerely, Camilo Lombard. Woo! Christy Gillis. I am deeply concerned and disappointed. The hours, days, and weeks and months of teacher compensation discussions have not resulted in a solution, but rather in an impasse, a strike, and disrupted learning for co-site students. I do not understand how it's more cost-effective to hire an agency to locate substitute teachers than it is to address teachers' reasonable requests for support with health care and back pay. No substitute, no matter how excellent they may be, is truly a substitute for my child's tenured, incredible teacher. When we explained the strike to him, he responded with a story of his teacher's kindness. Like his parents, he doesn't understand how we've reached this place. We know this is hard, but there must be a better way. I'm frankly very confused by how the situation has escalated as it has, because I know the amazing people and good intentions that exist on both sides. Please find a way to partner with teachers, compensate them appropriately, and show them how much they mean to our community and CUSD. If you can't meet the request, please share a specific, transparent budget analysis outlining why our district cannot pay what's being asked, along with the steps being taken to bring our district to financial stability, such that this cycle of teachers going for years without a contract ends. I am hopeful you will find resolution tonight. Our children are counting on you.
Yeah.
You can do it, Jennifer. Just show us the budget.
Melissa Foley, mother of an El Granada elementary student. Outrage. Look at the numbers. You need to provide what our CUTA is asking for at minimum. It's embarrassing, sad, and just so upsetting that the CUSD board cannot see what is so clear to everyone else at CUTA and the entire coastside community. Our teachers deserve even more than what they are asking. Your actions make it very clear you don't care about our teachers and education in our community. How can you not see the facts, the numbers provided to you? Approve the whole 6%. Offer real health care. 2 years going on and on. Enough is enough. Let's make our community better by giving our teachers what they need. Get our district in line with comparable districts. Do this for the future of education. Show us our district matters. Please, Melissa Foley. This is our first year in public school here, and I have to say it's absolutely disappointing for CSBA board to be this out of touch. Get your act together. Do the right thing. This is your job. Approve it. Let's go. Stop dragging this on and on. What are we teaching our kids by doing this? Keep teachers on the side. Laura Jackson, parent of a Fairlawn View TK student. I've read the ThinkNet report, and their low wages are not the cause of this district's budget troubles. They should not be punished for the failure of the school district to properly budget.
Yeah.
The school board must fly the plane and build the plane at the same time. In other words, fix the budget while paying more to the teachers, or they will leave, and so will families. Our teachers deserve more money than what is being offered. According to MIT's published data on living wages for San Mateo County, our teachers are not earning a living wage. Our family is happy to stand with their teachers as they strive for a fair contract, and we are sad that it has come to this. And with that, we will adjourn to closed session. Thank you, everybody.
I just want to say to President Hines and to the board, I really appreciate all of our public comments, and I just want you to know that staff is working to give teachers what they deserve while we are fixing the budget. I just want to reiterate that we do have a new CBO who's amazing, and a new superintendent who's humble and willing to work with our district office to pay the teachers. We have offered the teachers 6%, as you know, or maybe you don't know, and we will then work with them in continuing negotiations. Negotiations have not stopped. Our last and best and final offer was to close 23-24, leaving open 24-25, which is this year, to continue to negotiate with, hopefully with new information, perhaps new tax revenues coming in, with additional cuts that I will be making, and finding ways that we can reduce our expenditures so that we can take more of our budget to pay our employees, all employees, not just CUTA, but our CSEA employees as well, what they deserve, given our constraints. So my commitment to all of you is to trim our budget, reduce expenditures, to pay our employees what we can, while still remaining fiscally solvent, so that we're not taken over by the state. So I think you're all aware, right? We have to have our budget approved by the county office.
We have to be positive 3 years out.
3 years out, which is really hard. Like, you think about like my own family budget, I can't even predict what's the cost of gasoline or you know, the expenditures from PG&E, what's gonna cost, you know, 3 years out, but we're doing the best. And so we will do those projections and we will work closely. I'm in contact daily with our county office of education superintendent and our county office of education CBO, as in Jennifer. And we have people that are helping us and supporting us to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to be fiscally responsible and still pay our employees. So please don't. And I also just want to say that I will engage in a very transparent budget process that includes multiple stakeholders to really look at what is our budget process. We will not just roll over a budget. That is not fiscally responsible budgeting process. But how do we have a budget process that has multiple stakeholders' input, and then how we look at what do we have, what are our priorities that are aligned to our strategic plan and to our LCAP, which paying employees is one of those priorities. So align our resources to our priorities to make sure that we have a budget development process that's comprehensive, inclusive, and that is responsible.
Thank you. I really appreciate the fresh eyes that you've brought to this whole process. And
Thank you.
I believe we've made a really good selection in our new superintendent.
We have a lot of work to do, but I'm really counting on our labor partners to help me through this process, to make recommendations and give me input so that we can do what's right. I can't do this alone. Thank you.
And we adjourn to closed session. Thanks.
Did we ask for?
Okay.
Closed session?
Whoa.
Get into your seat.